Hey guys, it is Sarah Speaks. So this is my first real video where I'm actually talking to you. Because the first video I posted was just my journey to sobriety, and I'm gonna be talking about sobriety a lot on this channel. Not just sobriety, like mental health stuff too, but I will be talking about sobriety as well, because for me that's how my mental health has gotten a lot better since being sober. So yeah, this video I actually wanted to make about how I got sober in the beginning and the resources that I used. So yeah. Also, I wanted to say that I used to have a YouTube channel before this one called Corn Rebel 29. Don't judge me for that name. And I lost it because YouTube decided to be owned by Google, and then the Google accounts thing happened, and I can't get that YouTube channel back. Unfortunately, I've tried everything and I just don't remember the password. So I'm making this new channel, and hopefully my subscribers from Corn Rebel 29 can subscribe to this new channel. Yeah, so without further ado, these are some of the resources that I started using when I got sober, and that have been really helpful for me. So the first thing I did, before I even got sober, was when I was drunk, I would make videos to myself, just saying you don't need to be doing this, and just telling myself how I felt in that moment, because I'm sure a lot of you know who've struggled with alcoholism that you get urges to drink because you think it's going to be fun and you think it's going to be adventure. And so I would make videos to myself while drunk saying no, this isn't a good feeling, no, you've done this and that weren't good, and you're going down a slippery slope. And I would just talk about that. And so when I finally got sober, watching old videos of drunk Sarah talking to sober Sarah really helped a lot. So yeah, that's the first kind of thing I did. But also I joined, I made a sober Instagram account called Sarah's Sweet Sobriety. You can follow me on there if you'd like. And I started posting about my journey, and even before my journey started. And I started following some amazing sober Instagrammers. And I'll make a whole other video just dedicated to my favorite sober Instagram accounts. Yeah, I did that, and that was really helpful, and I got a lot of support. And it was inspiring seeing other people getting sober, and especially people around my age range, because you don't see a lot of 20-somethings getting sober, so that was really helpful. I quickly swapped out booze for Starbucks, and now I have a whole other addiction, but it's better than alcohol. This is kind of controversial. A lot of people find this very triggering, so I'm just gonna put a trigger warning on this, but I started drinking alcohol-free beer and alcohol-free wine and alcohol-free coolers. For some people, this can be really triggering because it does taste like alcohol, and then it makes some people want to actually get the real thing. For me, I was lucky, and I'm one of the people who it really helps, and I feel like I'm having a drink without getting drunk, if that makes sense. And it's been really helpful. I really like my alcohol-free beer, especially because I was always a beer drinker. So definitely helps. And yeah, that it just kind of substituted it for me, so that when people were having drinks, I didn't have to feel left out because I had my own, even if there was no alcohol in it. What else? So I want to talk about some sober books that I've read that have really made a positive difference in my life and my sobriety, and books that I started reading when I first got sober. So There is The Sober Diaries by Claire Pooley. This is a good one. I'm not going to go into detail about like every author and every book and what it's about. I'm just recommending that you check these books out. Maybe I'll do more in-depth reviews in the future. And then there's Quit Like a Woman by Holly Whittaker. This one's a good one. And it's kind of, obviously it's for women identified people. And it's about, like it kind of talks about some of the problems with AA and how that's kind of a very patriarchal organization, which it is. And I have lots of problems with AA, but I have used AA the way that I want to use it. Like I've taken some things from AA that have helped for me, but I have definitely not focused my entire sobriety on AA. And I don't have a sponsor. So, and I've been sober for almost 14 months. So yeah. Also, just touching on that, this is a good transition into these books. So we got the Just for Today book, which has quotes for each day. It's really good. It's actually, this one's an NA book, but it's obviously works for AA as well. And then we got the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions and the 12 Steps for everyone who really needs them. I'm on step 4, so I have been doing the steps periodically, but it definitely has not been the entire basis of my sobriety. And then, of course, we got the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous, which I've read probably a little bit more than half of it. And if I ever feel like it, I just read it, but I don't feel like I depend on this at all. But it does help to read other people's stories. And then I have Blackout, Remembering the Things I Drank to Forget by Sarah Hepola. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Another Sarah, though. This is a great book. Yeah, it's like a memoir. I really like reading memoirs in general. And then also there's this one. It's probably in my top 3. We Are the Luckiest, The Surprising Magic of a Sober Life by Laura McCowan. I definitely recommend you read this book if you're thinking about getting sober, for sure. And then my number 1 favorite sobriety book, which I can't find my copy right now, but it's called The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober. I cannot remember the author's name right now, but it's a really good book. So yeah, those are some books that I've read about, specifically about sober literature, sober journeys, people's journeys to sobriety, and yeah. Also a book I'm reading for fun right now, which is not really about sobriety. It's more about mental health, but I just thought I'd throw this in here, is Jenny Lawson's newest book, Broken, which my boyfriend was nice enough to buy for me because he knew I really wanted it. It's really good, so you should check it out. Just not sober related. She actually mentions alcohol a bunch of times as like something fun that she does, but so I wouldn't recommend this book if you're just getting sober, but just for fun. She talks a lot about mental health stuff, which the reason I wanted to throw that book in is because I really want this channel to be not just about sobriety, but about mental health stuff as well. And yeah, other things that I did when I first got sober, I started playing my Nintendo Switch. This really helps, I think, distract me from drinking. It's fun, it's an escape from reality, and if you're a gamer or if you're interested in becoming a gamer, I suggest getting a Nintendo Switch, because they're really fun and they have all the old school kind of games like Donkey Kong and Super Mario, and yeah. I also recently downloaded World of Warcraft again, which I don't know if that was the best decision, but because I'm getting surgery soon for my foot, which I'll talk about that in another video, I thought it'd be a good time to start playing again. But yeah, I also, like, when I first got sober, I started actually practicing self-care and doing these activities, reading, which I used to love to do, and I never seemed to want to do that while I was drinking, which is the same for most of my hobbies. My hobbies were non-existent when I was drinking because my hobby became drinking and drug use. So yeah, reading. I actually started caring for myself again, putting makeup on, and just because I like the process of doing that, because it's fun, not because you need makeup. Doing my hair, which right now is a mess because I'm getting it dyed soon. So yeah, and like washing my face, just doing basic things. Brushing my teeth, flossing my teeth. Started doing that when I got sober, which I didn't really do in active addiction. I also started listening to sober podcasts, and my favorite one is definitely the Seltzer Squad, which is a sober podcast that's based in New York City, and they kind of talk about staying sober in the city. Which I don't live in New York, but I live in Toronto, so it works for me because it's a major city, right? And talks about getting sober as a woman living in the city and everything. It's a really good podcast. I would suggest you check it out on Spotify or whatever, their website. So like basically I just started becoming as obsessed with my sobriety as I was about drinking. And for me, that's the only way that it would work because I have an addictive personality, obviously. And if you're thinking about getting sober, chances are you probably do too. So yeah. And I also swapped out cigarettes for a vape, which only has 5% nicotine, but I still smoke periodically. That really helped though, the vape. And it was so weird because I'd have like a vape in one hand and my non-alcoholic beer in the other, and I kind of caught myself thinking like, wow, I used to have a cigarette in one hand and a real beer in the other. Like, this is great. Yeah. And there's so many things that I do now that I never would have done sober. And I met my boyfriend sober, and I would have never met him if I'd been drinking, because like he's not a party guy at all, so I probably wouldn't have been interested in him while I was drinking. But yeah, and this is a big shout out to Noble Saint Games, and that's his YouTube channel, and I really want to give him a shout out and to say thank you to him for motivating me to make this video, because I was kind of just procrastinating on it, and I was kind of frustrated that I can't access my old YouTube channel and I have to start all over again, kind of thing. But it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm glad that I finally am doing it right now, and it's all because of Noble Saint Games, because he continues to motivate me every day and just supports me 100%. So you guys should definitely check his channel out. Yeah. And I did want to show you my medallion that he actually got for me, and it's my 1-year medallion. So I earned this, and I think a good tool for sobriety too is when you start earning your chips, you should carry them around with you, which I need to do more often. And that way when you go to a bar or a place that serves alcohol, you can just hold on to this and remember like that, how far you've come. Even if you've just been sober for one day, that's amazing. And yeah, I think the biggest thing that's helped me through my sobriety, and it's going to sound so cliche, and it is an AA saying, even though I'm not really fully into AA, but it's that saying, just take it one day at a time. That is the best advice that I could give you, because if you look into the future, you're gonna get very overwhelmed, and it's just gonna seem like, what, I'm never drinking again. Like, do not think that way. Just take it one day, even 1 minute, one breath at a time, and that has really helped me. And yeah, I just hope that I can help some people out there that are newly sober or thinking about quitting alcohol, or even people that are already sober and just want to stay that way. And I really hope some people can relate with me and what I'm saying. And yeah, that's what this video was all about. Just talking about my resources, things that I did. And yeah, if I can get sober, then so can you. And that's really true. So anyways, I'll make another video soon, I promise. And until then, take care of yourself. Bye. Bye.